So now that you have your lining piece all put together, all of that should be put together. All of your hem should be pressed. And remember the little hole I told you to leave there? We're going to bag it out. You're going to see what we're going to do. So we're going to put this to the side now. And now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our sleeve. Yes, I can't wait to see how this is going to turn out. I think I'm more excited than you guys are and how this is going to turn out. So we take our pattern piece off, of course, and this is how we do it. So what you're going to do is take your pattern piece and you're going to fold it in half. So, and then find your notches. Find those notches. Find those notches and pin them. First thing you do, find your notches and pin. Find your notches and pin. Find your notches and pin. Find your notches. Okay, let me stop it. Anyway, find your notches and pin. You got the hint. You know what I'm talking about. So, we're going to find our notches and pin straight down from, from the top. Let me move this out of the way so you can see what I'm talking about. You can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're going to start here at our underarm. So all the way around, back stitching till you get to the end. Okay, so when you do that and you give it a good press, come back and we're going to show you how to gather this baby. Well, hello. So now is a good time, since we have our sleeves sewn together. It's a good time to try it on. You want to try it on to make sure that you got enough ease in there, you got enough movement, and that the armpit of your shirt is lining up and everything is, nothing's too tight. So you want to do that before you continue on. And also at this point is where you can, because we're going to fold this under, and at that point is where you can kind of see where you want your arm to be, your arm sleeving to be. Okay, so mine fits good, and now we're getting ready to gather this baby. So now what we have done, like I just said, I tried on my sleeve to make sure where I wanted to put my sleeve to end, and so I kind of just put a pin there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over about 1/8 of an inch, and then turn it all the way over to where my sleeve length needs to be. Just turn it over 1/8 of an inch, and then turn it over again to where your sleeve needs to be. So together, what we're going to do is, we're going to go from each point. Okay, you see where your dots are? You should have had some dots, and my dot is, let's see here, there it is, there. So I'm going to take my longest stitch length and put my tension on the highest it can go, and I am going to put 2 gathering stitches in here. I'm going to show you how to do this. You're going to put 2 stitches all the way around. Sometimes if you have a ruffler foot, it'll probably be even better. But then take it alongside the next one about 1/2 inch and do another one. And you're going to pull those. Right at the top here is your large circle, and that is the cap of your sleeve, is where that is going to sit. So everything else is going to be gathered, and that's what's going to give you your nice balloon poof sleeve. So we're going to go gather and we'll be right back. Okay, so now that you have your 2 gathering stitches, if you can see them, got my 2 gathering stitches there, and they're about 1/8 of an inch apart. And you're going to grab the 2 on the bottom, and you're just going to start gathering. Grab the 2 on the bottom, just start gathering and manipulating the fabric and distributing it evenly throughout. And distribute that evenly. That's 2. Making sure it's flat. So once you have done that and you're manipulating your fabric and distributing it evenly, you're going to, and you can go on the other side and do that side as well, because this is a lot of sleeve. So I find my 2 strings on that side and I do the same thing. Something's not being cooperative. Okay, there we go. So start pulling on that one as well, and you can kind of start seeing that poof coming into life. It's coming into play as the more you manipulate that around. So what we're going to do is, once we do this, I'm going to put this on. I'm going to grab my jacket, and I gotta find my double notches. We know the double notches is the back. Okay, so here's my double notches. So we'll go on this sleeve. Right sides to right sides, guys. Right sides to right sides. So where's my, okay, this one. Bear with me. So this one. So I had to make sure that my back notches were lining up. If you don't get them to line up, the sleeve is not going to fit right, okay? So, let me find my notches. And first of all, what I like to do on this, usually I say do your notches first. What you got to do is put your side seam and your side seam of your jacket together. Put those seams together first. Then what I do is I find my circle at the top, which is my top piece, right? So I find that circle, and it's right there, and I'll match it to the top sleeve cap up here, and I pin these. This is my guide now. Now what I do is I got both of my sides secured. Then I'm going to find my notches, the back notch. Find that notch and pin. Okay. Then you go on the other side and you find your notch and you pin. Okay. Now from here, what we're going to be doing is manipulating all of this in here. We're going to be easing all of this in here to give us that full look. So find your string and you're just going to start pulling. Okay, you're going to start pulling. Find that string, start pulling, because you know with all that fullness there's no way that can fit in that sleeve cap. So find that, start pinning. That's what you're going to do. Start pinning. Pin, pin, pin. So put a lot at the top. A lot of fullness at the top, okay? So I want a nice poofy sleeve. I want to start pinning there. Pin. So you got all that fabric right here. to work in there. This is a nice big sleeve. You've seen the picture of it. So you got a lot of sleeve to work in there. And all you got to do is just keep pulling on that thread. Okay? The more you pull on that thread, the more gathers you will get. So the more you'll get, okay? Make sure you're pinning all the way around. Pin, pin, pin. I can't stress enough how much to pin. Because you'll thank me later, I'm telling you. These pins, I tell you, they can get on your nerves, but you're going to be glad you did pin them, because pinning kind of lets you get a sneak preview of how your finished product is going to look before you sew it. So you can kind of see all those gathers in there, all those gathers. And so I'm going to go over to this side now and do the same thing. And in the top, let me find my thread, because in the top, I like a whole lot of gathering in the top. I want a lot. I want most of my fullness to be right there in the top part, because it'll make it stand up taller as well. You'll get a nice poof that's standing tall. Nice sleeve. I think that is so cute. Your sleeve is standing up like that. It's really cute. So go ahead and just continue to pin. Pin, pin, pin. And if you have to pull on your strings, do so. Pull on those strings. Do whatever you got to do to manipulate that sleeve in there. Distribute all that fullness. You don't want just, you want to distribute it, because you don't want just fullness on one side of your sleeve and then the other side is just straight. You don't want that. So just pin and do that. Now I have mine pinned all the way around. So what I'm going to do is go to the sewing machine and sew this all the way around, and grab my other one and sew it all the way around, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we have our sleeves sewn on to our jacket. Both sleeves are on. And now what we're going to do is take our lining piece, and you're going to go right side to right side. I always start in the back, right in the back there. Right side to right side. And you're going to start pinning all the way around. Pin it all the way around. Okay. Here's your notches there. You can pin those notches. And you go on the other side and you find those notches. You do your shoulder seams first. Always do those shoulder seams first. Then you do your notches. Okay. Here's my notches there. Okay. Then what you're going to do is, once you get that on there, you're going to take your sewing machine and you're going to go all the way around that neck edge. And then I'm going to show you what to do next. I don't want to do the next part. Let me show you what to do after we do that. So now that you have your neck edge all the way around from end to end attached, your lining piece and your jacket piece. I'm trying to cut all these strings off of here. You remove your pins, and then what you're going to do is you're going to cut into the fabric to release the fabric. Do not cut your thread. Do not cut your thread. You're going to have to sew it over if you cut your thread, and then you're going to throw everything off. So, if you don't know, I can cut a little faster, but if you don't know how to cut fast, you take your time and do this so you can make sure your fabric will just lay down really nice around the collar when you do this, okay? So that's what you want to do. Then, what you're going to do now, each side, remember we left that opening. We left that opening for a reason, because that opening in there, we're going to have to bag this all the way out and flip it inside out, okay? So, right now what we're going to do is pin this jacket all the way down. Pin it all the way down. Okay? Pin it on both sides. This is where the magic begins to happen, because your jacket is now taking on a life of its own, if you will. So, we're going to sew straight down, all the way down on both sides, and we'll be right back. Okay, so now that you've sewn all around, you can see that, all around the neck edge, straight down each side, then what you're going to do is, you got it's like it's cut off there. What you're going to do at the bottom is you're going to stop sewing. You're going to sew all the way across to there, and you're going to stop. Same thing on here, all the way across the bottom here, and then you're going to stop. And then let me show you what we're going to do from there. Okay, so now that we have stitched each one of these front corners from the front to that point there where you're going off into an angle, just stitch to there. Then I pin all the way around, matching up all of my seams, seam to seam, seam to seam. Oh, and another thing, what I did was, the bottom pleat that I had in here, as you can see, I removed that bottom pleat. So, I got both of my darts lined up with the darts on here. All the way around, everything should line up perfectly. Then what you're going to do is, from that line, from that point where you stop sewing, you're going to take that, and that's your guide. Go all the way around till you meet up with this one. Then we'll be right back so we can show you how we're going to trim off some of that excess, and then we're going to bag this out. Okay, so you've got it sewn all the way around to the other side. Now what you're going to do is, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut off all of that extra, all of that, so you can be able to turn it. You want to be able to turn this. So, cutting out all that extra bulk. We don't need that. Okay? We don't need that. Cut all that off. All the way around to the other side. You have almost finished your jacket. You are almost done. Wow. So we're gonna cut the tips off of our edges like that. Cut the tips off. And then what we're getting ready to do now is bag it out. So I hadn't even thought about my sleeves, so really I didn't even need to leave that, because I have the sleeve opening. So you really didn't have to do that opening here. If you would have had another sleeve for your lining, I am not doing a lining sleeve, so I'm able to use my the holes from my sleeves, so that's the reason why I didn't need that little slit. But just get in the habit of doing it. It's a headache if you don't do it. And what I do is I take my pencil, and I just get my points off. Get all my points. Okay? Get your points. With your scissor. With your pencil. Get all those points turned out. Top and bottom. All those points. Okay? Can you believe it? You are almost there. This jacket is coming together, honey. It is going to be so cute. I can't wait to wear it. So make sure you stay tuned because the final look is coming up. The final look. I'm going to model this baby. Got my husband a matching shirt. Got my little Yorkie Cooper. Cooper has his little outfit waiting in the wings. He tried it on last night and he liked it. So, my husband tried his on last night and he likes his. So, I did a little bit of trying mine on and I'm going to see if I like it when I get done. But I tell you, honey, this is coming together. Woo! This is a nice jacket. So what we're going to do is turn it inside out. And I'm going to show you what we're working with. So what we're going to have to do before we proceed, I'm probably going to just turn this out and stitch this from inside that little hole back up. I'm going to stitch that back up. But we got this here because we don't have another sleeve. Now, what we could have did was we can make a sleeve and then you can just attach it to your other one. I don't want that. That's just too much for me. It's too hot. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take my sleeve, and this is what you can do if you don't want a whole nother sleeve inside of there. I get too warm, so I don't like all that. The only reason why I'm doing this is because it looks better when you line it. These jackets, anytime you're doing a jacket, it's a little bit, I line none of my dresses. I don't line them. I don't like it. I feel like somebody got me squoze up in something. I don't like it. So, if you're like me, I'm trying to find my seam. Okay, there it is. So, what you're going to do now with these sleeves, honey, get these sleeves right. Because you can't just leave that all rough and ugly like that up in there. So, remember, we cap our cap, put the cap on there. Let me get, just 1 minute, let me get some pins. We need some more pins over here. Our pins is gone. So our cap, what you want to do is get that cap pin, then start pinning all the way around. All the way around. You can start at your notches and just pin all the way around. All of this should line right up. You should have no gaps or anything. It should all line right up. There should be no gapping or anything. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take and sew all the way around here. Then I have some binding tape. Piping. So I'm going to take my piping. Let me grab my piping, honey. Let me kind of show you what I'm going to do. This isn't the color I'm going to use. I'm going to use a black. But we're going to take piping all the way around here. And we're going to finish that off, okay? That's how we're going to finish the inside of our sleeves off, all right? So, first thing I said we're going to do is we're going to first stitch this all the way around this sleeve. Then we're going to get our binding to finish it off. And then we'll be right back and let you see how that looks. Okay, so we have put our binding in. And what I did was I didn't have any binding. So what I did was made my own. You can make your own. You don't have to buy it. And I used the same fabric that I used for my lining. And I just made my binding piece. Now my shoulders and all that is just a nice finish, just a very nice finish. Now all I got left to do is put my label on here, add my label. If you want to add a label, you don't have to. Then our sleeves, the only thing left is the sleeves. Remember I told you to turn them up 1/8 of an inch, then turn it up the rest of the way to where you measured how long you want them and where you want them to end. Okay, that's all you do. And then if you're interested in the finished look, I'm going to be modeling this. Stay tuned.